to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. This is Let's Talk. I don't count life, calories, or blessings. I don't down with snakes or bite my tongue. It is what it is. I am what I am, and I am your host, Tony Williams. Shout out to my new listeners and my On Ones Day Ones. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. This podcast contains some quotations, images, and/or excerpts from copyrighted material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. To get in touch with On One Radio, the call-in number is 318-315-3971. Again, that's 318-315-3971. And to email onOneRadioTalk@gmail.com. Welcome to Let's Talk, brought to you by On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. Welcome. Come on in, get comfortable, laugh, and enjoy. Welcome to all my listeners and my On Ones Day Ones. You're listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. I am Tony Williams, and this is Let's Talk. We've got a hot button subject this evening, and let me just kind of let you know, some might like it, some may not, but either way it goes, it's information that you can use. It's knowledge. So we're going to rock with it. Alright, so our subject for this evening is, you mad, huh? Why? The real reason. Because you're a racist. Let's air it out. There's a lot going on with the protesting and all the lives, the black lives that have been lost. Oh, we've got a caller. Let's see who this is. On One Radio, I'm good. How are you? We've got kind of a mix-up going on with this line. Do me a favor, hang up and call me right back. All right. Okay, that was Rich Agbu. By the way, big shout out to him because it's his birthday. So we're going to get him back on the line because I know he's got something to say about this here. But yeah, our title is, You Mad, Huh? Why? We know a lot of us have dealt with racism. Hi, Agbu.
Yes, that was me calling in just now.
Yes.
Made it back home.
Yes. Oh, and happy birthday. Shout out to you. It is your happy born day.
Thank you.
Yes, for all those that are listening, this is YouTuber Richard Agbu. He's a regular on the show, and I knew he was going to be calling even on his birthday for this hot button issue here.
Yeah, I'm here. I just came back from the gun range because I strongly support that we exercise our Second Amendment rights.
That's right.
I just picked up a Glock 19 Generation 5 as a birthday present on Monday.
Oh, well, congrats.
To myself. And I wanted to make sure I got to the range so that way I could test it out.
Right.
And I did, and I'm glad that I did.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. So tell us, Rich, how you feeling about everything that's going on right now?
Well, I won't lie to you. I'm actually a bit on edge. I'm very concerned.
As you should be.
About it because you see a lot of crazy things happening. One of them, which I'm going to mention, is it just came out this week, even though it happened over 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
That this girl was found in her residence that she shared with some white guy in McKinney. Young black girl, about 20 years old. They said they found her hung.
Oh my God.
And of course, they're going to try to push the suicide angle. But anybody who knows anything knows that black people don't hang themselves.
Right. We don't do that. We just don't do that. There's a stigmatism already with that concept.
Precisely.
So no. Oh my gosh. I hate it. I really do hate it. This is getting out of hand. We're having so many of our people being hung, being gunned down, and I mean, it's just flat out public hate that nothing is truly being done about it.
But the thing is, you want to know why nothing is being done about it?
Why is that?
Let's be realistic. If somebody hates you, think now on an individual level. If you know a person hates you,
Mm-hmm.
and a person treats you bad because they hate you,
Right.
are they going to stop because all of a sudden they have to change their heart? Oh, well, I'm going to be nice to Tony on one because, she's a nice person, and I just realized that.
Yeah. No, that
they're
ain't
not.
Nah. I mean, that's one in a million shot right there.
That's my point. So now all of a sudden we are talking about racism, talking about being done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the people that are in control, the ones who actually hate us, are all of a sudden going to stop?
No.
Anything applies.
Nah, they don't have any motive to. Just to be honest about it, they don't have any
They
motive.
don't, because the thing is, we can go all the way back to the end of slavery. Go all the way back to, matter of fact, an example I like to use is Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why Black Wall Street got destroyed?
Because that was power.
Huh?
That was power.
Right. We showed that we could survive without them.
Right. They don't like that power.
Post-slavery, blacks and whites were segregated
Mm-hmm.
in most of the country.
True.
And then we showed we could do it without them. And then what they do? Destroy it to make us more dependent. I like to say it like this. On a scale that nobody thinks about, but if you really look at racism is kind of equivalent to an abusive relationship.
Yeah. It is. I can see
The
that.
abuser wants the abused to depend on them. The minute the abused say, no, I don't need you anymore, I can do it on my own, they'll say, fine, you'll be back.
Yeah.
And the minute you're not back, the abuser gets their feelings.
Yeah. That's true.
Their feelings, and then will do whatever possible to sabotage what you have.
Yeah, it's that tug of war with control.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not... It just doesn't make sense to have that sick sense of entitlement to feel as though it is okay to own someone, like a shoe or a car. People are not inanimate objects.
That's where the problem comes from.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly where the problem comes from.
And then, I mean, to be honest about it, what a lot of people don't understand is that slavery is actually a state of mind. That's where that begins.
Yeah.
That's where the control and the claws dig in to control starts at, because it's, you take control of the mind and you have the body. There won't be any will. There won't be any fight back or push back or any type of resilience shown. And right now, this is just, I mean, it's out of hand. And the crazy part is it's funny how people who hate black people, African American people. It's funny how that idea to control and run them, or run us rather,
Uh-huh.
it's as if they're proud of that inheritance type of mentality. Like, okay, our ancestors owned you. It was a girl on Facebook who, and I think I reposted that to my Facebook. So if any of the listeners, if you haven't found my Facebook, find it, because there are a lot of things there, just as well as the Twitter. But I shared that, and the girl made a comment that we as black people were mad, but we shouldn't be, because it was not that long ago that we were slaves. Like, she had the balls, the audacity. It's that stinky thinking like that gets passed down through generations.
Yeah, the thing is, someone like her, I would like to ask her directly to her face. So, based on what you said, not too long ago we were slaves. So, are you saying that we should be thankful that we are where we are now? Then I would ask her directly, say, so, are you and I equal? That's basically the only question I need to ask her.
She would.
Are you and I equal?
She would lose her damn mind.
And you know what? I invite her to do it.
Well, I mean, clearly she's already lost her mind to even be able to even let some ignorance spew out of her mouth like that publicly. Because, I mean, at one point, they were too afraid to publicize it. Now it's almost like it's just we're just going to McDonald's to get a damn burger. Like, it's just...
That is why you've heard me say over and over that Trump's election encouraged his followers to embrace their inner racism.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like he legalized it. He legalized hate. He legalized people being inhuman. Like, oh, it's okay. They're nothing. They don't mean anything. You know, they should have still been working for us. And I mean, it's like the audacity. Like, how could you ever fix your lips to say anything negative about black people when you obviously needed us to survive? But we're lazy.
The thing is,
but we're lazy.
They forget that fact. And two, more importantly, so much has been ingrained into them that they seriously forget how much that we have done. And from generation to generation, there are parents who have not shared enough of the real truth. So kids get a certain degree of the truth. But when you get a certain degree of the truth, you're not getting the whole real deal. And when you don't get the whole real deal, it's left to interpretation.
Right. You're exactly correct about that. And it's a sickness. It's a sickness that needs to be purged. Seriously, because the world is going to cave in if this does not end. And for those listening because I've, being on Twitter and everything, I've seen comments where people really actually admitted that they really didn't have an understanding of really what racism was until these things started being more visual. So for those who may not know, let's break it down for them. What is a racist? It's a person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Now, I got one little issue with that definition, though.
Okay.
Where it says that it is a minority, we're not the minority. It's more of us than it is them. So we are actually not the minority.
Well, see, the thing is this. Here's here's what the issue with that is. Are you talking about on a global level or on the level of just this country?
Well, let's start with our country. In our country, I think we're what, 8-3 or 8-2 or something like that. The last I checked.
No. Well, the numbers say that we're only 13% of the country,
Mm-hmm.
and the Caucasians still over 50%.
They need to check them numbers again. Somebody is not reporting, and they got to take into the account of all those who have been born over the last 20 years, which they really probably don't want to add. Not to mention all the biracials that pretty much are getting pushed over into one or the other side. Now, globally, what do you think?
The question of the biracial is a really good one because that is one of the few cases where the question, well, what do you identify as, is a very big, valid question.
Right. That is so true. And for a lot of people, I've been hearing that they feel as though they really don't have a choice because if they look darker than a Caucasian, they're getting thrown onto the black side. And then you have some who are just pretty much disowning their black side altogether. So you're right about that. It's kind of a gray area right there to a certain degree. Because you have some on both sides of that. But it's interesting how, like the chick said, it wasn't so long ago. Which makes me think, okay, so the past seems to be intertwined with the present and the future. Because this is not going to be over anytime soon. So for both sides, black men, women, and children deserve kindness and respect. We all deserve to breathe and live in peace.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, there's no way around that.
Well, see, the problem with that is that there are some who really believe that we don't get to live in peace, which is ridiculous to me.
You know, they're delusional.
Yeah.
That's all you can really say about them. They're delusional. Because that's believing something that is not a fact. It is not based in reality. We wouldn't have been born. We wouldn't be here at all.
It's not based in reality. But the thing is, their sense of reality is warped.
Very.
It's warped because there was a time, and sadly many people still do it, where if something is brought to them, something negative, they don't retaliate. They say things like, oh, I'm going to pray about it, instead of saying, hey, what you did was foul.
Right.
Do it again, I'm going to break your nose.
But you know what? The sad part is you can say all of that in one breath. Because, praying about it is always great. But at the same time, without action, without work, then
I was just about to say,
it's nothing.
Faith without works is dead.
Right. And I'm not finna be dead. Like I tell the kids, I'm not finna wake up dead because I'm just gone. I'm not turning the other cheek. Now you might hit me and my cheek might turn that way, but best believe I'm coming back because I know my rights. And I'm not afraid. And I don't want anyone to be afraid. No one should be afraid to stand up for what's right. They really shouldn't. And, you know, something that really burned me up, and I was so mad about this. Like, I was hot about this. That George Floyd challenge. That display.
That, to me, that just shows how disrespectful some people are.
Right. The level of disrespect. Like, it's off the charts. And it's like you're disrespecting. And it's a public display of disrespect toward over half of the world's population.
But see, what bothers me about that is like, okay, we see the police with their knee on this man's back. We see the guy say he can't breathe. We see the guy, well, literally die in front of us.
Right.
And people have the nerve to really disrespect that. That to me is so ridiculous.
It is. It is. But if we were doing that to them, all of us would be under the pen. We'd be under the prison. We'd never see the light of day, if not killed off the top.
Right. And that is why I strongly say, not just once, but a million times, the minute somebody brings something to you, you have to address it.
Yes, it cannot slide. You can't. You give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile.
That's why the time for giving inches is done. It's done.
And you know what? I am so proud of all the protesters. I really am. Because if they can sit there and do stuff like the George Floyd challenge and the mocking of the I can't breathe, if they can do that and nothing is done to them, they're not arrested, they're not criminalized or anything, why is it that something that we have the right to do is either going to get us killed or basically kidnapped like they're doing in, where was it, Portland, Oregon?
I was actually going to mention that.
Like,
but see, think about this for a second, because I'm almost certain it's going to eventually happen. They're going to try to kidnap somebody who's prepared. Because there's going to be people who are going to be concealed carrying.
yes.
Or at the very worst, carrying a knife.
Yes. Most
My own
definitely.
son has these throwing knives, which would be perfect to carry in a situation like that. Because if you snatch me up and you throw me into a van and you drive off, first of all, thankfully I'm a big guy. But second of all, if I have one of those knives, you're getting cut somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Your DNA.
Because,
We will have it.
right, you are getting cut, you are getting hurt. And if you take me out in the process, that's fine too.
But your DNA will be left behind.
Exactly.
It's outrageous. And then, I mean, this guy, because I can't even call him the president because he is not fit to be a president. So that guy with that orange rug on his head, he has the audacity. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's on Twitter, and I shared it there as well. He did a video saying that he's done more for black people than MLK.
I heard that.
Like, are you serious? How ignorant and delusional do you have to be?
You know what? We could talk about Trump all day, but I don't think your listeners want to hear us talk about Trump all day.
I'm pretty sure they don't, but it kind of ties off into this a little bit. That's where the comfort level comes from.
Even for the little bit of good that he may be trying to do, because I've heard him say things about like trying to get rid of sex traffickers and all the horrendous things going on in Hollywood and all that. Because there's some videos which I can share with you on Twitter, which I probably need to. So
Oh,
that way
please do.
you can see a few other different things. But 45, who I like to call 48 minus 3, and then if a person's smart enough, they can figure out the code.
Exactly.
Was an orange bastard.
Right.
But if you, with him, whatever good he's trying to do, he ends up trying to fuck it up by basically being the most unlikable person to ever be in government ever. So
Not
he's
to
never
mention.
going to get the respect of the president, who may may not have done as good as him, but they're clearly respected more.
Yeah, but I mean, and not to mention, he really can't be trusted. I mean, he's an outright liar. And when I shared that on my Twitter, that video, that's what I put up there. I said, what else can you really expect from a liar but another lie? Which is oh so true. But his mouth gets him into, he backs himself into corners while he's giving these haters, is what I'm going to call them. They're racist, that's what I'm talking about. But I'm going to call them haters. He's giving these haters ammo and fuel. The latest has been when he came out, and these interviews he need to stop doing. But he basically threatened African Americans with the idea that we could possibly be slaves again.
I tell you what.
There's no way.
I got 500 plus bullets, and I'm probably going to get another 300 by the end of this weekend, another 300 the following weekend too, and I'm going to keep adding up, because if that ever happens,
And you know what? I say that to say this. We'll never be enslaved ever again. And his ignorance and arrogance will ensure further hatred, injustice, racism, violence, and inherited stupidity. His words are promoting the confidence and courage to be outright racist, proudly showing acts of racism. Not the character traits needed to be a good leader for the nation. And then he doesn't want black people to hear, see, or speak on anything racism, be understanding of history, or be thrown back into it. Because that's basically what it was. His statement was, we don't understand history. If we don't understand history, we basically need to be tossed back into it to understand it. But what he felt, what he fails to realize, and everyone else who's hating black people, we're not what and where you want us to be. We do not fear you. I mean, it's just, I mean, that's why I had to say that about him, because it's as if he's promoting it. He's promoting it. And that's not helping. So anything he does do that's supposed to be good, he voids it out. I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
People are running with it.
We have to be focused on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be focused on trying to do things to better ourselves.
Right.
Like right now, we are in the midst of the coronavirus.
Oh my God, yes.
I had a doctor's appointment by phone yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctor said, when we had our last visit in April, I was hopeful this was going to end within a month after that visit, like hopefully the end of May or maybe June.
Mm-hmm.
We're now in July, and I don't feel anywhere as close.
No.
Nowhere. This feels terrible.
It does.
And see, the thing is also, with that being said, there's been a few people who said, a lot of people have been sitting at home all this time. What have you done to better yourself in the process? Some things you can't really do much of, but other things you can.
Right.
Because then there's been some folks who've been a bit harsh with statements like, if you haven't done nothing to better yourself during all this, by the time this is over with, you basically failed and wasted time. Because a lot of times people want to do something, but they don't have the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is providing ample time for a lot of people to actually do something that they wish that they had done.
It is. It really is. There's actually, like you said, there's a lot that can be done, and since everyone's not out working and everything, every day and pouring out all the hours on a job, there is a lot that we can do, especially right now, considering we're in the throes of two crises. Because that's pretty much what it is. Because the racism issue has turned into a crisis. So, we're crisis within a crisis. So, you're right. Absolutely. We need to better ourselves. Take this time to understand, to learn, to grow, and to discover. Because there's a lot of us who don't know who we are. And for those that are in the midst of this, not knowing who you are in a time like this, it can be devastating. It can really be devastating. And I don't want to keep seeing people commit suicide because they can't find any hope. Because this has brought this out as well. There's been a lot of suicides happening. We can't let fear, the grips of fear, keep us from doing good things. Even now. Even now. Like, there's always something that we can do. And one thing I would say is to love ourselves and each other, first and foremost. Because if we can do that, we can take that next step and do something else. And every step is a greater step. We don't have to hate because they hate us. We don't have to tolerate being hated, mistreated, and abused. But we don't have to hate them. We're just not going to take their shit.
Well, see, personally, I'm not going to invest the energy to actually hate somebody.
Right.
However, you come after mine, I will return the same energy.
Yeah, it's going to be some furniture moving going on.
I will return the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have any hesitation in wanting to and succeeding and breaking you in half.
Right. So basically, for those who are just tuning in, got YouTuber Richard Ogbu on the phone. We are on this hot button issue. You mad? Why? The real reason? Because you're a racist? Let's air it out.
Well, the real reason it's family issues is what they were taught.
Mm-hmm.
It's what they were taught, and many people were not exposed. That's a good word.
Great.
People were not exposed. So for the ones who were not exposed, I kind of give them a pass. But it reminds me of, well, the Black Lives Matter issue.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I support the phrase Black Lives Matter. I do not support the organization.
Understood.
If you were to go on the blacklivesmatter.com website, go on their website and look in the About section.
Mm-hmm.
They're for supporting everybody that are Black lives, except for straight black men and straight black women.
Yeah, I caught that. So I can feel you on that.
So
the movement, yes.
Me personally, but you're using murders of black people to push your agenda. Hey, push your agenda. Don't expect me to support it.
Right. Right. I totally understand that. And it's logical. It makes sense. It does. But I do want to...
Go ahead.
I do want to say this. I'm about sick of hearing Make America Great Again. The land of the free.
Well, the thing is, you can be sick of it, but because that slogan has been made, we're probably going to hear that crap till we die.
Man.
I mean, I'm just being real about it.
I know.
We're going to hear it till we die. Matter of fact, I was Nollywood movie yesterday, which for those who don't know, Nollywood is the movie making arm of the Nigerian movie industry.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of calling it Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
because Nigeria starts with an N, it's Nollywood.
They've got some great
And
movies too.
The movie I was watching yesterday was called Your Excellency.
Mm.
This billionaire dude, he's run for president 3 times before, and he always failed.
Mm-hmm.
This time around, everything literally fell in place for him. But one of the fun, it's a comedy.
Okay.
It's still funny. It's very funny, in fact. And one of the things was there were certain ways he tried to model himself after Donald Trump.
Mm.
You know, make Nigeria great again and such like that. And it was hilarious. Although at the end of the movie, he actually did win the presidency.
Okay.
Trump called him. His friend answered the phone, tried to hand it to him, said, "No, I don't want to talk to Trump. I want to talk to Obama first."
Hey, man.
God,
Hey,
it was
man.
hilarious.
Oh, that was a great ending right there.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna have to go look that up so I can see that. That sounds so good.
When he got mad and hung the phone up, it was hilarious. It's called Your Excellency.
Your Excellency. Guys, check that out. I'm gonna have to go check
That's on
that out.
Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix.
Okay, Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
Okay,
It was
so
hilarious. It was hilarious.
I bet it was.
Let's get to this Black Lives Matter thing, right?
Right.
So there are literally some people who they are so what's the word I'm looking for? Unaware. Yeah, unaware.
Yeah.
So unaware that they literally don't know what is going on. And I know this is because I got into a discussion and I said, let me break something down so some of y'all maybe will understand it. And I actually went to a discussion which I had with a friend of mine named Dave. I think you remember Dave.
Yeah, I remember Dave.
Okay. So Dave one time called me and asked me to break down Black Lives Matter because he knows if I break it down, he'll understand it. I was like, okay, cool. Well, thank you for the consideration, and I'll break it down for you. So I asked him, do Black Lives Matter? He automatically says all lives matter. I said, that's your problem right there. He said, what do you mean? I said, you called me to ask me to break down the term Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And when I ask you if Black Lives Matter, you instinctively say all lives matter. And see, that to many people is dismissive of the term Black Lives Matter. But let's dig a little bit deeper. When white people automatically say all lives matter, I guess it makes you guys feel like you're being ignored, like it's not about you. And unfortunately, when it comes to black issues, when white people talk about black issues, you guys want to make it about you instead of what we are dealing with.
Right.
So I said, that's part of the problem.
It is.
And then I said, now, we say, maybe, I said, check this out. I said, maybe if I said, or if we as a whole said Black Lives Matter too, it wouldn't make you guys feel excluded. He said, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I said, but it's not about you. That's the issue. And I said, let's take it a step further. People thought, we all hear the phrase Black Lives Matter. And then some people all of a sudden try to throw in, well, what about black on black crime? I said, first of all, it has nothing to do with black on black crime, because crime is crime. Everybody's committing crimes everywhere.
Yes, most
And
definitely.
crimes, they are committed based on location. So because they are committed based on location, that has nothing to do with what we are speaking about with Black Lives Matter. The reason why people say Black Lives Matter is, case in point, Tyrone is killed by Ray Ray, Ray Ray's going to get arrested. Ray Ray's going to prison. Justice has been served.
Mm-hmm.
The person who committed a crime is going to jail. He's going to spend years in jail. He's going to, serve his time, do his penance for his crime.
Right.
However, if Officer Bob kills Ray Ray, Officer Bob is going to get a paid vacation.
Slap
you may
on the
know it
wrist.
as administrative leave.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But you're getting paid to actually to
take a break, basically.
kill somebody. You're getting paid to kill a black person. You're not going to jail. You're not seeing any punishment.
Right.
And then he's like, well, I don't think it would be that cut and dry. I said, Dave, I'm going to give you two examples. A real life example. And then you can think about it from there. He says, okay. So I said, example one. You and I have been roommates. Say we go to the gym, we're training together, right? So if we're in a gym and we're training, and say you break your leg, I'm not speaking into the universe, this is just an example.
Mm-hmm.
So you break your leg. If you break your leg, and you go to the doctor. You want to get a cast on your arm so that way your leg can heal, the bone can heal, so you can recover. But the doctor puts a cast on your arm. So you're like, Doc, what the hell is this? Why are you putting a cast on my arm if my leg is broken?
Mm-hmm.
But the doctor says all bones matter.
Right.
He was like, dang, that's stupid as hell. But it makes sense. It's stupid for the doctor to put a cast on my arm when it's my leg that's clearly broken. I said, yes, Dave, and that's why it's stupid as hell when you say all lives matter when we're talking about black lives that are being mistreated and killed, and there's no justice behind it.
That's right.
He's like, oh. And then I hit him with something else.
I know you
I said, let me
did.
give you one more example. And as I said, you and I have been roommates. We've been roommates, friends in the real life and all that. He's like, yep. I said, so we've driven the same vehicle in the same day, hell, in the same hour before. He's like, yep, that's true. I said, so picture this. Say we're at the house cooking, we're going to do, wings and beer or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You leave Kroger, you come to the house, and you forgot to get, I don't know, jalapenos or something like that. And I say, you know what? I'll go get them. But then you tell me, well, be careful, there's a cop out there because I got pulled over by this cop because I ran this light because I have a music up too loud, I wasn't paying attention. And me and the cop got into a little bit of an argument, shouting match. He's like, okay. So I go to the same store. I run the same light, get pulled over by the same cop. I said, now, this is where things get a little bit different. With you, Dave, as a white guy, you get pulled over by this cop. Worst thing's going to happen to you is you and this cop are going to be saying, fucking asshole, fucking asshole, fucking asshole, back and forth for 5 to 10 minutes. Then he's going to let you go. He's going to write you a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
The same cop pulls me over. That cop may put 6 to 12 in my chest. And then there's going to be hashtag RIP Big Rich, hashtag Gone Too Soon, hashtag FCP, meaning fuck the police.
Yep.
Because I was unjustly killed. And this cop is going to say he feared for his life, so now he's on administrative leave and he's paid to sit at home.
Yeah.
You know what Dave said?
What did he say?
He said, well, look at you, you're huge.
Oh my gosh.
I said, Dave, now you're a real life friend. You're not an imaginary friend. You're not a social media friend. You are a real life friend. So you mean to tell me that because I'm a large black man, I deserve to die? Is that what you're saying? He got quiet. I said, what you told me right now is literally the actual worse than the equivalent of the N-word.
Yeah. That's what that was.
I said, whether you realize it or not, you basically told me that I deserve to die because I'm a large black man.
Basically.
Even though in this scenario, you got pulled over by the same cop for the same reason. So you deserve to die, but I don't. I mean, I deserve to die, but you don't? Really?
Yeah, because he basically said he could understand. Like, how could you not understand? Because you're a big guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that ended up putting a damper on the relationship because I told him, I said, dude, this is what you're not understanding. You basically signed my death warrant.
Yeah.
You told me I deserve to die because I'm a black man. I said, for the sake of our friendship, because we've been friends almost 20 years.
Yeah.
We did that for about 18 years. I said, I'm going to get off the phone because if I was in front of you, I'd be beating your ass right now.
Yeah.
You still have no idea what you really said. And the fact that you don't realize what you said is bothering me.
But
it's legitimately troubling me at the moment.
It's that white privilege eyesight and understanding.
So what I did was I got off the phone with them. I didn't talk to him for 2 months. Literally. He called, I wouldn't answer it. I sent it a voicemail. Because I was like, wow, he's really that disturbed.
Yeah.
Now some other folks friends were like, you know what, let it go. He doesn't understand. I said, hell, he's a grown ass man. He should understand.
Yeah. He really should.
Nobody make no sense for no grown man. So like I said, I had to cool down.
Of course. You did the right thing though. Because I know that had to be a hard situation right there, just to be kind of blindsided with that.
Yeah.
This is just amazing.
After 2 months, he talked to his wife, who's a therapist. And she actually got him to recognize and understand this thing. If it wasn't for her, he sure enough was going to get fully cut off.
I understand that. I mean, that it happens, and there are so many people out there that's their understanding level as far as this going on. They can't see it, they can't understand it, so therefore they can't feel it.
Right. But you know what? Let me also, I saw these two things in the last week or so that had to do with, either Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And they are hilarious, and I need to share them.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, okay, this one actually works perfect too. Especially because it's my birthday.
Okay.
Saying all lives matter is like screaming, I have a birthday too at someone else's party. Sit your dumb ass down.
That's hot. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
And then where's this other one? This other one is great too. It's a little on the more raw side, but hell, you know me, so. I have to find this thing. It's hilarious. Basically, it says, imagine you're having sex with your woman, and you say, you like this dick? And she says, all dicks matter.
Good one. That's a real good one.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
It really don't get too much better than that.
It don't. Oh my gosh. I like that one. Yeah. You send me that one. Send me that
I
one for
will.
sure. Because I like that.
I mean, because honestly, people don't think.
No. I
They
mean,
don't think. It would literally take something like that, something that is so shocking, borderline vulgar that people say, wait a minute.
yeah, for them to take notice. Because, people like I do. If it's something going on and it doesn't hit close to home for them, they're not going to understand it. They're not going to be able to identify with it. They don't have any
And,
feelings, so they're not going to put any energy into it or even trying. So
and
it's
that
like,
is absolutely correct. Because
yeah, it's like, it's not me.
there literally are people, and eventually, like I said, when me and Dave spoke again, he actually did say, well, I guess some of these things I never really think about because I know, it'll obviously never affect me directly in my life. And I
Yeah.
said, thank you for telling me that. I really appreciate the fact that you realize that it won't happen to you. But what you also need to realize is that it could happen to me. And if I'm supposedly one of your best friends, then what are you going to say? Well, look at him. He's huge. If a cop was to kill me?
Before his wife talked to him, more than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just being honest about it, that's pretty much what it is.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Now, you mentioned earlier about the burning down of the Black Wall Street. So, let me run with this a hot second.
Okay.
Alright, so the land of the free, huh? Burn down Black Wall Street, huh? We all fit the description, huh? Kill us when you vow to protect and serve us, huh? But make America great again. How about we make racism wrong again? Make it truly against the law by making it a felony offense with a mandatory 10 to 15 years. No good behavior time cuts, no probation, or house arrest with maximum fines. Murderers get fast tracked to the execution via electric chair, firing squad, or by the same way they kill someone. You mad? The real reason why. Let's air it out. Truth be told, racists are pissed.
What the real reason is?
Yeah.
The real reason is they're not in control anymore.
Yeah.
They're not in control. They don't run shit. So if they don't run shit, they are ultimately scared that we're going to do the same thing to them that they did to us.
And the bad part about it is that's not even our MO. We could give a rat's ass about them and what they're going through.
They don't know that. They don't think that.
It's guilt.
Yeah, one, it's guilt. And two, they have that innate fear in their heart. They have that innate fear in their heart. And,
No.
I did this. What if they do it back to me? But think about it. That's one thing that, if you think about a bully, think about a bully and what a bully does. Every bully's fear is retribution, payback. Because if you actually get done to you what you've done to somebody else, if you have a worry about that, that's probably a very legitimate worry, especially if you are that kind of asshole.
Right. Karma's a bitch.
I don't believe in karma. I don't even use that word. I just say payback's a bitch, not karma.
I do.
I personally reject the word karma because, people can talk about karma all fucking day long. But if karma's real, why haven't the table's turned yet.
Oh, it's coming. It's definitely coming. And it's already been hitting home for a lot of them. That's another reason why they're acting out the way they are. Because they're terrified. They're terrified. It kills them to think of reparations, possible jail time, loss of wages, having to do anything that they really don't want to do or experience or go through. For a lot of them, it's here. For some, it hadn't reached out and touched them yet.
It hadn't reached out and touched enough of them yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but it will. I have no doubt about that. And to be honest about it, truth be told, racists are truly pissed because we are no longer slaves, no longer scared, no longer controlled by the weak and lazy.
That's what it is.
Because they are weak and lazy. When you have to hate someone because of the tone of their flesh, you are weak. If you have to try to own somebody to do the work that you don't want to do, to raise your kids, and you proud of that, you proud of being lazy, and you weak. Because you know you couldn't do it. So you had to force someone else to do it. And they pissed because they need us. Cannot exist without us. I mean, they need to be honest with themselves and others. They mad because we raised free. Free to express ourselves and each other. We excel, achieve, and we definitely believe in ourselves. And we will defend and protect ourselves. And they need to stop pushing their inferiority complex on us. That is their learned baggage.
Well, see, the thing is, they won't stop. That's something that we will have to stop them from doing. Period.
And it's going to happen.
Let's think about it. If you tell people to stop killing us, and the first thing they say is, excuse me, but? Are you serious? No. But that's what happened.
It is. It's always an excuse. But my great-great-granddaddy, but my great-great-grandma, who gives a damn that your ancestors was lazy and kidnappers and whoremongers, and the list goes on. And the hole they digging for us will consume them and all of their people.
Well, it needs to be a literal hole, because figures of speech don't mean shit to me.
They're gonna get back everything. Especially when people of color, black people, African Americans.
The people of color thing I don't ride with. That's still too general.
When we actually step up, get actually organized, and take our rightful places, then we can make the laws for our people. Because if we are the people, then we are to be in those positions to make judgment calls, laws, and everything else for the people. To represent the people. Because as of right now, that is not happening. And until that happens, a lot of this is going to continue to be a battle. It really is. Because, I mean, they got to learn to stop hating themselves. Because that's really part of their problem, too. Is they hate themselves. It's not that they necessarily hate us. They hate on us. A lot. for centuries. But it's actually them hating themselves because they feel inferior. And everything that they say about Black America is really a reflection of them. Because, I mean, look at what they've been saying for years. All gangsters, all drug dealers. We didn't start none of that. We don't have any planes to bring in drugs. We don't have money to buy cops, judges, lawyers, senators. So who is that really talking about? The mafia's on down. The gangs, that's the cops. And they're trying to make it the military now. So...
No, not trying to. They've been doing it.
Okay, been doing it.
That's,
but it's still the same. It's the same. Everything that they try to say negative about us, it's not on us. It's them and their mess. And they're terrified of giving back what they stole.
Of course.
And they owe. Racism would cease to be, but because you're mad and brainwashed, it's going to be close to not happening. Because they can't. It's almost like they can't. So it really is up to us to make moves, to do something. Truly do something about this. Other than that, it's just hot air. Especially like with the spending money. Where we spend our money, that helps. It's not the whole kit and caboodle. But everything that we individually do comes together as a collective. If we actually withheld all our funds from certain things, they'd be on their knees begging and pleading and crying.
Yeah.
They really would.
We have to have the discipline to do that.
Right. Right. That's why I say, as a collective, we have to get organized. Because that's what they want. If they can keep, quote unquote, us down, then they'll be just like, okay, well, they can't never get together. If they can't get together, if we can keep them mad at each other, if we can keep them down and keep them upset and frustrated and focused on this boo-boo the fool stuff over here, then they won't have the room, the space, nor the opportunity to actually better themselves to do better.
Which is why you always hear me say unity or lack thereof.
Right. Exactly.
You know, of black people in the United States and worldwide.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, totally true. Because that's what it is. The division is the key. That's just like back in the day when everything, because I know a lot of people are not into politics, but this is something that's actually relevant. At one point, black people were Republican. You know how many people don't know that?
Yeah.
It was mind-blowing to realize that a lot of people did not know that. When this whole politics started, black people were Republican. They were not Democrats. It was even a joke about it. Dude said it. I'm going to have these voting Democrat by the time I'm out of office.
Yeah, LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson.
That's him. And look what happened. A lot of black people, that's what they vote. I at one point was doing that. So I'm right in the mix with everyone else who did not know. But once we know better, we can do better.
One, many people didn't really buy into politics. They bought into it more when Obama was running.
Mm-hmm.
And him becoming president ended up being the symbolic victory that that we were looking for. Because now we see, oh, guess what? If he can do it, he's a black man, we can do it.
Yeah, and that's what they fought against. So hard. They don't want us to have inspiration. They don't want us to have hope. You give them hope, then they just gonna run amok. No, you give us hope, then we're gonna do much better than what you think we can do. And that's the problem. But, I mean, it's just, the world is in pain, in turmoil. And black people are only seeking kindness. And we deserve respect. The different shades of skin tones pretty much make up the rainbow of life. Every person in the world is equal. Just as each color in a box of crayons are all considered colored. Because you can't go into Walmart and ask for a box of just white crayons. You ain't going to be able to do that. It does not come like that. And it will not come like that. You might got to go specifically to a specialty art store, and they still probably going to look at you crazy, because I've actually checked, and you might can get a white pencil, color pencil, but a box of crayons is a box of crayons, and we all in it together. And that's part of what they don't like. Because to whereas they're fighting to be grouped with us, that division alone would be their downfall.
Let it be. Let it be. I am all for it.
I mean, they can do what they want to do as long as they ain't trying to hurt us. And people also need to understand, because I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, I'm not black. It's not my fight." Oh yes, it's gonna be your fight too.
But you know what? You know why they say that?
Yeah, they don't want no parts of it. They don't really
They don't
care.
want no parts of it too. We have no real allies. That's why.
But the thing they miss is, if you have black friends, family, a black partner, or a heart, or even a conscience, this is your battle as well. This is not just a battle of black and white. It's humanity.
People don't care about humanity.
They don't. And in the end, they're gonna be the ones sitting there looking like the fool. Because we are America, built on the backs and the hands of our ancestors. Our minds will remain free. And we will be. And that's what I really want everyone out there who's listening. I need you to understand and to know this. It's your mind. You have rights. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to correct them. Don't be afraid to defend yourself. Don't be afraid of what they could possibly do to you. Fear will destroy the world. But we can't let that destroy us. They can go wherever they want to go and do whatever they want to do. If they want to go to the moon, have at it. Bye. Because just as we did Black Wall Street, we can what, Rich? We can survive without them.
You can't tell them we will survive.
Yeah. Because they're destroying the world by their own hands. By their own hands. Not us. We're only speaking up. Because that's what the protesting is. And they've been picking for a long time They want a race war. They want a race war. Not us. We trying to end it. We trying to end it.
Already started. I said it's already started. That's one thing we need to pay attention to.
Yeah, that's why I say we trying to end it. We are trying to end it. We're not trying to, because basically what it's going to be, okay, so the civil rights movement was in the 1960s. Well, right now, we have the civil rights movement going on in 2020.
Yep.
And what does that say? I mean, that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Well, it means that not very much progress has been made on the larger scale over the years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that tells me.
Yeah, because they're comfortable.
Uh-huh.
They're comfortable in what they're doing. But sooner or later, they're going to have to get uncomfortable.
Well, see, the thing is also, that also means that we are comfortable, too. We are comfortable at the level that we are instead of pushing harder. Because every time we push harder, oh, don't you have enough? Isn't that all right?
Hell no, we don't. No. Because as long as those who hate black people keep doing what they're doing and getting away with it, the more they are going to do. They keep taking and trying to take and trying to take. So, yeah, it's time to push back and to push back hard. Make sure your kids go to school. Make sure your grandkids go to school. Make sure they get into some official positions. Make sure they have that wisdom and that understanding of knowing what's right and what's truly wrong. So they can't be swayed by money and unnecessary things that they can't take with them when they die. Actually teach them right. Some gonna do it, some not. But that's on both sides. But mostly, if you know that you have rights, you can act upon those rights.
True.
Because like you said, nothing is going to, change if we're not pushing back. Make them answer for. Make them accountable. From the highest seat in the office all the way down to the lowest cop. Nobody who's hating black people should get away with it, period. They all should be held accountable. If we have to be held accountable for running a red light or one of our kids stealing some candy out the store, whatever it may be, we've been being held accountable. Hell, we done been held accountable for stuff that we didn't even do. It's their time. It's their time. And the time is now. It really is. So, Rich, you got anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, I'm actually good. I do want to talk to you about a couple of other issues for further shows.
Okay. Of course. Well, let the listeners know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Facebook, Richard Osbu, last name OGBU. My profile picture has a big old smile if you would have go see a red T-shirt on.
Yep.
I haven't really been YouTubing, so I'm not even going to give that out at the moment. But it's the same name. I've been kind of laying low on that recently.
Okay.
Really haven't been doing anything on YouTube.
Okay. Well, y'all go over there and y'all check out his page anyway. Follow him. Give him that support.
On Twitter,
get him going.
I am on Richard Osbu. But Facebook right now is where I'm putting most of my work.
All right. Well, look him up on Facebook. And as always, bro, thanks for coming on the show. And you know you're always welcome.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Always welcome. But I'll hit you back.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your birthday.
I shall.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So, guys, we have been talking about this hot button issue. Now, let me know what you all think about what was said, what you think should have been said, your feelings, your opinions, your thoughts, because it does matter. It really does matter. So, our topic, why you mad? You mad, huh? Why? The real reason. Well, the real reason is because you are being racist, which is not cool. It's not something that should be passed down to generations. Humanity means more than that. And for all of my people, we have rights. Nothing will change without organizing. Overcome fear and get the respect and dignity that you deserve. If we do not stand up for ourselves, nothing will change. Continue to be brave and demand justice and equality. The fight must continue without hesitation. As I said before, we are not the minority. Those that hate us are. So thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, hit me up, let me know. Email, call the radio station. And until next time, Black is beautiful. It's strong. It's brave. Black is excellence. And we are very resilient. Our past does not define what our future holds. We do. And it's the effort we show. It's what we do to better ourselves and our communities. Because if we do not stand for something, we will fall for anything. And we cannot have that. That's not what's up. Not at all. So guys, have a great, great weekend. Stay out of trouble. And have a great weekend. You have been listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my talk show. Now, if you know an artistic mind who deserves a little bit of podcast love and talent recognition, email me here at onOneRadioTalk@gmail.com. Place it to the attention of artist highlights. If you've got some BS for the BS of the day, email, place it to the attention of BS of the day. Now, for more, we're on YouTube. The name there is Tony On One. You can find On One Radio on Facebook. And while you're there cruising Facebook streets, check out On One's Day One's private Facebook group, where we laugh, joke, and get it in. Now we're also on WordPress, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Tumblr, and Collide. Podcasts are also available on most of your favorite podcast sites and apps. Again, thank you for taking the time to listen to my talk show. I wish you the best, and don't allow anyone to fuck up your vibes. I've been your host, Tony Wood.